Welcome to a Business Growth Mindset podcast. I'm Kristian Livolsi and I'm incredibly grateful to be here today and share this episode with you. My purpose is to change the world one person at a time so that I can help them become the very best version of themselves. To all the business owners and entrepreneurs, the crazy ones, the believers, the doers, the clever makers, the action takers, and everyone else in between, this podcast was designed for you. Today's episode is on the power of fear and how to overcome the fear of failure. We all experience fear at some time. This may not be always negative, but there will be a gap between what you want to do and where it is now. And this is the opportunity gap. If this is your very first time visiting my channel or listening to my content, please make sure you subscribe by clicking the subscribe button now, as well as change the notification alert. Otherwise, you're likely to miss future episodes, and I don't want that. So stick around, listen up, and let's see if what I share with you today will help you narrow the gap, embrace fear, and grow through each experience so that it can change your life or that of someone you know. I want to take a dive into the power of fear and how to overcome the fear of failure that's holding back many people and subsequently many companies. Fear will push you to avert your eyes and it will make you think you have nothing to say. It will create a buzz that makes it impossible to meditate, and it will create a fog that makes it so you can do nothing but meditate. Fear seduces us into losing our temper, and it belittles us into accepting unfairness. Fear doesn't like strangers, people who don't look or act like us, and most of all, the unknown. It causes us to carelessly make typos or obsessively look for them. Fear pushes us to fit in, so we won't be noticed. But it also pushes us to rebel and to not be trustworthy, so we won't be on the hook to produce. It is subtle enough to trick us into thinking it isn't pulling the strings, that it doesn't exist, that it's not the cause of I don't feel like it. So when in doubt, look for fear. But how do we look for fear? Now let me start by identifying the 5 common areas that we attribute to fear of failure. And they are: 1, the fear of experiencing shame and embarrassment. 2, the fear of devaluing one's self-estimate. 3, the fear of having an uncertain future. 4, the fear of others losing interest. 5, the fear of upsetting others. And then let's not forget the fear of failure. We must consider these areas in terms of impact on you and others, home versus work, and your business. Which ones can you relate to? Which ones are impacting your ability to take action right now? To tackle fear, you need to understand where it comes from. And once you know, you can start taking back control by stopping to avoid it. You see, many people fail to achieve because of the fear of failure. And by looking at failure avoidance, we can begin to appreciate why. So you have some context. The model of failure avoidance is based on a cascading framework with success orientation at the top, near the left, and failure acceptance at the right, at the bottom. Success orientation is all about a success focus, effort attributions, perceived control, high and stable self-belief, resulting in achievement, persistence, self-regulation, future plans, and resilience. Whereas failure orientation is all about a focus on failure and self-protection, helpless attribution, perceived lack of control, unstable self-belief and self-doubt, anxiety resulting in withdrawal, poor achievement, low persistence, and low resilience. This is further represented with 3 stages of failure avoidance that include: 1, overstriving; 2, defensive pessimism; and 3, self-handicapping, which all lead to learned helplessness, which is failure acceptance. So how do people deal with failure? Well, if you look at regrets, we can split it into two sides. One, using regrets as fuel, and two, using regrets as a way to hold us back and not letting ourselves move forward. Now, you see, most people, and I mean it, most people use regrets to hold them back. They paralyze us in the face of possibility. We don't want to do something if it reminds us of that black hole that we have in the past or the pain that we felt at that time. Whereas the minority, those who adopt a growth mindset, and even more so, those that have built up resilience, use regret as fuel. For example, if regrets about yesterday's decisions and actions help you to do better work today, then they've served a useful purpose. Now, if you are struggling with the power of fear and the fear of failure, then it's useful if you can forgive yourself, because the regrets that you're carrying around are keeping you from holding on to the possibility that you can contribute even more tomorrow. And I promise you, everyone has the possibility to contribute from their failures. All you have to do is look at some of the most successful people in the world, and they will openly tell you of a time and place when they failed and how it made them a better person and ultimately led them to success. In fact, they will tell you of many failures that led them to their success. Now, let's take Regina Dugan in her TED Talk in March 2012. She says, "Failure is part of creating. We cannot fear failure and create new and amazing things. When you remove the fear of failure, impossible things suddenly become possible." Now, she goes further by saying, "I'm not encouraging failure. I'm discouraging the fear of failure." How awesome is that? The biggest mistake people make is they hide. Yes, they hide. This is another mechanism to deal with the fear of failure. When in doubt, look for fear, right? Are you hiding? Many of us hide from change. We hide from the responsibility and from the prospect of feeling foolish. We hide by avoiding things that will change us. We hide by asking for reassurance, and we hide by letting someone else speak up and lead. Many people spend their life living in fear of feelings. We are so blessed that we have overcome so much in 2,000 years, and lucky enough that the things that we used to fear don't happen so often anymore. So now we fear feelings. You see, many people will rationalize in extraordinary ways to avoid coming out of hiding. When in doubt, look in those hiding places. The biggest problem to overcoming the power of fear and the fear of failure is that over time, our dreams and fears combine, and important actions come down to the fear of being ashamed, feeling stupid, being rejected, being left out, getting hurt, being embarrassed, left alone, dying, and the dreams of being seen, being needed, becoming independent, relieving anxiety, becoming powerful, making someone proud, fitting in, seeing as special, mattering, taking care, or being loved. Now, in a blog in 2013, Seth Godin titled, "Fearlessness is not the same as the absence of fear." He says, "The fearless person is well aware of the fear she faces. The fear, though, becomes a compass, not a barrier. It becomes a way to know what to do next, not an evil demon to be extinguished. When we deny our fear, we make it stronger. When we reassure the voice in our head by rationally reminding it of everything that will go right, we actually reinforce it. Pushing back on fear doesn't make us brave, and it doesn't make us fearless. Acknowledging fear and moving on in a very different approach, one that permits it to exist without strengthening it. Life without fear doesn't last very long. You'll be run over by a bus or a boss or a company before you know it. The fearless person, on the other hand, sees the world as it is, fear included, and then makes smart and brave decisions. Now, the key to today's message is simple yet profound. You cannot avoid fear and you cannot avoid failure, but you can use it to your advantage for moving forward and growth, for encouragement and action. With the right implementation of a growth mindset and a culture of failing forward, the purpose and ethos of your business and your life will work in harmony with the practical applications of your strategies. Your personal and business goals will align, and you will begin to achieve balance, which is essential to happiness and success. Now, if you love today's podcast and you're enjoying the series, please take a minute to rate it and provide a review. This helps others know that the content I'm sharing is valuable, but also it inspires me to share more content with you. Don't forget to share the podcast and the channel with others who you believe will gain value from the content I'm sharing. From all of us, keep safe, maintain your distance, wash your hands, and most important of all, stay connected with the people that matter the most to you. Please take care during this time, be kind and be courageous, and as always, live with purpose.